You're listening to Trevor Francis on the Tilton Talk Show.
Welcome to Monday night's Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Image Cleaning and in the month of October in conjunction with KNBP, which is Kids Need Both Parents. So the trip north was yet another huge success in the tale of the two Garys, with Gary Monk rattling the rower into getting himself sent off. Oh, how good does that feel to have that win? However, that's one done now, and it's on to the next one tomorrow under the lights at Stands as we welcome Reading. Can we? Can we start to dream? Can we? Just can we? We have a gaffer that loves us. We love the gaffer. We have a team that is fighting for one another and for the shirt and for the badge. So please tell me, everyone that was at that Fulham game, that you'll be there tomorrow night. It's a tenner to get in. Kids for £1. Let's fill the place. Bring the noise. Get another 3 points. What we had at Stoke is what we have to replicate at St Andrews. As for me, I had my chip dinner as promised on Saturday night, and even though my grandson's a Stoke fan, I didn't make him cry with the celebrations. It's all about tomorrow. As always, let's strap yourselves in and get ready for the ride on the one and only world famous Tilton Talk Show.
We are the lads from the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the blues. We love you, what more can we say? We have the tickets tops here at St Andrews. They're gonna give us what we're longing for. It's Birmingham forever. Let's hear it from the stand. So come on, City, sing this song once more.
Welcome to Monday night's Tilton Talk Show, and as it is with great sadness that we've learned this week of the passing of two very young Birmingham City fans, 16-year-old Lewis and 22-year-old Chloe Kerr. As always, the Tilton Talk Show offers condolences to the families and friends of both of these supporters taken far too early. Rest in peace, you little blue angels. Never easy to do them.
No, sad.
Always puts a lump in my throat.
No.
Right, okay, it's going to be a big show tonight, and we've got two gentlemen here from West Midlands Police. This is introduce you to Colin.
Good evening.
Very good evening to you, sir. And Stuart, also known as Blade.
Good evening.
The Blade meaning Bladen. Okay, that's all right. Okay, that's all right. That's fine. That's fine. Mr. Fun, good evening.
I'm also known as a few other things on the show.
You are known as quite a few other things, yeah.
Not
yeah.
repeatable, though.
Yeah. But I'm sure everybody will remind you once again tonight.
Commonly used.
Have you had a good week?
Not too bad.
Marvellous, wonderful. And very big welcome to Mrs. Brown.
Congratulations.
Hang on.
Where do we get him from? Right, gentlemen, welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. It's going to be
congratulations in order.
Congratulations.
For
Yes, absolutely.
Mrs.
Earphones. Many congratulations for being cancer-free today.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm
the moon
pretty
to
chuffed
see that
myself,
post a little bit earlier on Facebook.
Yeah.
Got goosebumps. Only Birmingham City ever gives me goosebumps.
18 months now. So,
18 months.
Yeah,
Nice
well
one.
done.
Yeah. And I'm very sore. So if my voice is a bit high pitched, it's because of the.
All right, we do know. We do know. We do know.
Family show, come on.
Well, it was a family show till this evening. Right, first off, gentlemen, you work for West Midlands Police Football Division. Then I wish to report a theft. I wish to report a theft, and I wish you to do something about this. This is absolutely, and every single person that's on this Facebook page tonight will agree with me. We have got another football club called Ipswich Town who is trying to steal Keep Right On to the End of the Road and make it their own song. That, if it isn't theft, I don't know what is. Right? They've sang it a few times in the past, and now they're trying to adopt it as their anthem. Go away,
okay.
Ipswich, go away. Can you do something about it for us? We're going to look into it. Well, the thing is, that song's been attached
is
to
that
Birmingham
theft?
City.
Because,
Well, yeah.
technically
No,
it's
as
not
far as
theft
I'm
'cause
concerned, it
it's
is.
still ours.
That's fine. Yeah, but
we could still have access to the song.
no, but I want.
Let them have it in League One next season. It doesn't matter.
Beautiful.
A massively irrelevant club over in the east. That's it. I'm off already. It was Scotland last week. It's Ipswich this week.
What's the point of Ipswich?
Absolutely. As always, then at the start of the Tilton Talk Show, we'll go straight into the ladies' game over the weekend.
Okay.
Off you go.
Drew 0-0 at home to current champions Chelsea. A game in which we struggled to get going in an attacking sense, but defensively again showed why we've got probably the best back five in the league, certainly the best centre-half partnership in the league, and absolutely the best goalkeeper in the league. Catherine, who's been on this show, obviously mentioned about Chris being cancer free. Anne's gone through her cancer thing as well. But as a goalkeeper in that division, she's just proving week in, week out an absolute standard. Not just the save from the penalty from Karen Carney, but just generally her whole game, control, commanding the area, comfortable. You must make it very, very easy for that back five, knowing that she's behind them. But the back five,
good penalty stopper as well.
Fantastic. Well, I tell you what a stop as well, because
I meant against you.
Oh well, she didn't have to save mine. Mine crashed back off the bar, but yeah. Another point on the board. So that's played 6 now. Won 4, drew 1, lost 1. So we're third in the table as it stands,
which isn't bad. Come on,
it's very, very good.
I know you were a bit. You were a bit kind of.
No, I was all right about the start of this season. But I think even that may even have exceeded my expectations for the start to the season they've had. 5 clean sheets out of 6 now.
Yeah.
Like I say, if they can get that fluidity in an attacking sense, especially against the bigger teams. We've played Man City and Chelsea our last 2 home games, and going forward we haven't quite clicked as well as we do against teams that bank up and try and sit back against us and defend. So if we can get that going, then there's no reason why we can't keep make sure that we keep up at the top of that table. Big test in 2 weeks away at Arsenal, who have won 5 from 5 and scored 27, I think it is. They're absolutely flying. So it'll be a big test then. If we could get something from that, then we're very much still in it. Great
news. Okay, yeah. So it wasn't all doom and gloom then, at least.
No. Look, listen. From an attacking sense, we could have been better. We probably should have been better. But defensively, we're as resolute and as top quality as we have been all season.
Excellent. Benji Smith, gents, would also like to report Harry Redknapp for trying to offload Michael Kiefenbauer to Derby. That's a crime.
I'm sure there's a few things Harry Redknapp could be reported for. Allegedly. Steady.
That's a word that's going to be used so often tonight, isn't it? Well, gents, it's great to have West Midlands Police in with us. This is something that we've actually spoken about many times, isn't it, Chris? About doing a football-related police show. Can you tell us then? Let's go to the Derby game at St Andrews. When do you start preparing for that one? Let's assume it's in November. Well, it is in November.
It is.
The home game you're talking about. The home game's like March. Is it March?
Yeah, about March.
Yeah. The home game's in March. For the game next month, we started planning as soon as the fixtures came out for it.
So the day the fixtures come out?
Near enough.
Yeah.
Give or take. Fixtures came out middle of June, probably beginning of July we met for the first time. Right. And for the game at Blues in March, we met for the first time last week. Okay. So what are we, 4.5 months away, something like that.
And who's involved in this meeting?
Initially, we... Silver Commander is appointed. A Silver Commander runs the operation, if that makes sense, who is normally a Chief Superintendent or Superintendent level. And they're sort of in overall charge of the policing operation for that day. Yeah. And then it's then it works its way down to a Bronze Commander. Bronze Commanders look at the deployments on the day, various different areas we're policing, Birmingham City Centre, for example, area of Aston, area of the Blues ground, depending where the game is and things like that. And then obviously myself and Blade, who deal with sort of the day-to-day work of the sort of policing of football and the fans, really.
Yeah.
So are you sat in the police box yourselves on match day then?
No, not at all. We're out and about with the fans and just giving information to the Bronze Commanders, letting them make informed decisions on the day, really. What we probably missed off there is that the clubs get together as well at the start of each season, and they have a meeting together where they decide allocations and everything else. And the finer points of it.
Just quickly interrupt that. Sorry, Jerry Gill's joined in tonight, and he said, "Remind the Tractor Boys of the Worthington Cup semi-final. Keep right on. You've never anything like it. My best night in a blue shirt. Keep up the good work, lads." And Gary Monk. Thanks ever so much, Jerry. And Jerry, I'd just like to remind
work at Bath as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd just like to remind Jerry that you still command the highest audience on the Tilton Talk Show ever.
Yeah, he does.
97,600. Nice one, well done. Sorry, gents. Yeah,
you were going back. You mentioned the clubs will meet at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Is that for both fixtures?
That's
in
for
terms of
both
both fixtures?
fixtures, yeah.
And you mentioned the word that I'm sure, I've looked at your Twitter accounts. The most commonly used word on Twitter since you announced that you were coming on, and that's allocations.
Yeah.
Allocations for derby games, home and away, would that be decided at the start of the season, point blank?
Yeah, it's a reciprocal agreement between both clubs. They will get together at the start of the season and decide what the away allocation will be, and they will give it both the same then.
Does West Midlands Police have any influence on that whatsoever? That's one question that a lot of people have been asking.
Yeah, no, we don't have any influence. The clubs decide that allocation, okay, and then we get to police what they tell us. We don't have any influence on Birmingham City or Aston Villa about how many tickets they sell for any game.
So after, I think Blues have come out before, excuse me if I'm wrong, I'm sure I've seen statements from Blues, statements from Villa, where they've said, upon, interaction with West Midlands Police, the decision has come to, to be that this is the allocation for that game. That would be not a lie, but not 100% true.
I mean, like, we liaise with them up to the game, up to the day, and what we do is provide them with intelligence and reports regarding what they can expect on that day.
Yeah.
If something comes in new, they need to know about it, and that lets them make an informed decision as well.
Okay.
But
About
West
the
Midlands Police do
allocations.
not make that decision on allocations.
No.
There you go. That was a double no. You've heard
Yeah.
it straight from the horse's mouth.
So when it
do you know
comes out-
something? I've always thought that you did.
Yeah, I know.
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure that everybody else
No.
on here listening always thought that you did.
Yeah.
Another question that's very relevant, Craig Cox and Roy Atwood, and they're very much intertwined. When are the Police and Aston Villa going to be able to play our clubs on derby days at Saturday at 3 o'clock, when the Met managed to control all their derbies in London? And Roy says, why BCF's Villa on a Sunday, 12 noon, and not West Bromwich Albion Villa? Explain, please.
I'll start with the West Brom Villa one initially. Blade might give you a bit more. It's the Villa. Policing, for those who've been to the Hawthorns, policing West Brom is relatively easy.
Yeah.
For those who, when you come out of West Brom,
Yeah.
you come out on the Middlemore Road,
Yeah.
and let's be honest, you won't see a home fan for some considerable time, and that's just the layout of the ground. That's just the way it is. You look at a lot of these newer grounds, and they're no more than a
Everybody
bowl.
comes into
yeah,
each
so
other,
everybody
yeah.
comes out together. Stoke, Blues,
West
those sort of
Ham,
grounds.
yeah.
Yep, they all come out together. Whereas West Brom, they've kept it the way it was from years and years ago with Middlemore Road. So hence a Friday night policing West Brom against Villa won't cause us too many issues.
Yeah.
Had it been the other way around, and had it been EFL or Sky trying to get it on a Friday night at Villa Park,
Are we talking about the Blues game now?
no,
Oh,
we're
Albion.
talking about Albion, because
Yeah,
I know
sorry, yeah.
people are referring to that and saying, why has that been allowed?
Yes.
If it was Villa Park versus West Bromwich Albion on a Friday night,
Yeah.
we would staunchly object to that.
Yeah.
We would go, although we have no grounds whatsoever to stop that match going ahead, because
Yeah.
we have no powers to do that.
Yeah.
We would call what is an extraordinary safety advisory group meeting. Now, a safety advisory group is a body of people who inform the council, who issue the safety certificate for all the grounds.
Right.
So in this particular instance, Birmingham City Council,
Yeah.
they hold the safety certificate and issue it to the grounds. So us as police, we have no powers on that SAG. We just pass information to the safety advisory groups, and recommendations, and then they make the decisions.
Okay.
Okay, so I've just seen one that says if we could play the Villa game on that Tuesday night, the infamous one, obviously the one with the flares, etc. Why not the league games?
That was a League Cup game.
Yeah.
League Cup.
Now, you can't move League Cup games. At the beginning of a season, obviously, Football League put in certain dates, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Carling Cup as it was then, League Cup, Carabao Cup as it is now,
Carling Cup, it'll always be the
it'll
Carling
always
Cup.
be the Carling Cup. On midweek fixtures, there is no way the Football League or the Premier League, depending sort of which level you're at, would allow a Premier League or Football League game to be moved to allow a cup game,
match,
a League Cup game. The FA Cup's completely different, obviously.
Yeah.
The League Cup game to be played on a Saturday instead of a league fixture.
So there you go, Luke Acton, you've got your answer to that one. Okay.
So, allocations again. So the clubs announce allocations like probably a month and a half in advance of the game.
To the fans,
Yes,
probably.
to the fans, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's that's the point, that maybe there should be a better communication between fans, that allocations are it's for games like this. Allocations are announced at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So as soon as they've made that decision, the allocation is made to the supporters, so that the supporters know how many they're going to get from day one, and because
I didn't think it was a secret. I mean, if anybody asked me what their allocation would be, I'm quite happily to tell them it's 2,100. But we were never told it's a secret, and not to reveal that information.
So you're a Birmingham City fan yourself, Colin?
Yes.
Right, and thanks, I'm all.
Yes, I'm a Wolverhampton
Blade is
supporter.
not. Blade is not. Yeah.
And you've been a season ticket holder yourself.
Yeah.
How old are you?
44.
44. I'm 57. I can remember Birmingham City versus B6 when I was a child. Nearly 60,000 there, and you had coppers with the little pointed helmets on, and next to. Well, I wouldn't say next to no trouble. But,
Exactly. Exactly. I don't believe you. I'm not calling you a liar on the show, but I don't believe that there was no trouble.
Would be completely full of them. Completely full of them. All their little balloons, pink
But
and blue.
it's different. It's different.
It is different.
It's different worlds. Different
Isn't there
society.
anecdotal stories about that Hitler couldn't stop the production line at Longbridge, but a Blues Villa game could?
Really?
Absolutely right.
So-
Absolutely right. Do you know what? That needs immortalising,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
I think we need a
Should get that on a
picture.
canvas.
I might
yeah.
clip that.
Yeah, we need that arting up. I need that. We need that on the wall. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Nice
I'll
one.
carry on about the allocation,
Yeah.
but if you want.
Yeah.
Because another question which has come out today, or thereabouts, in relation to what is the normal away allocation.
Yeah.
So say, I don't know, Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday coming to Blues, or Swansea going to Villa
Pete
last
Taylor's
week.
giving you the red card, by the way.
Grab your coat.
Okay.
Sort of what is the usual away allocation? And as I say, for a team coming to St Andrews, the usual maximum away allocation is 2,800. That can be moved slightly, and that's clearly a club decision. Again, that's not down
Up
to
and
the players.
down.
Up and
Yeah.
down. If you remember when West Brom came in the FA Cup, what was it, 3 years ago? They
It's
got
at
5,000.
the end, yeah.
Middlesbrough came on a Friday night when they're going for promotion a couple of
Yes.
years
Yeah,
ago.
four,
Got
yeah.
4,800
Yeah.
tickets. So as I say, there is that flexibility there, but it's a club decision. And I'm sure Blade will say something about when teams go to Villa Park. And it also comes down to then what the club decide they want to do regarding how many seats. They call it seat kills, which is basically a bit of netting over a seat.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
And whether that be a block, whether that be a couple of rows at the front, again, that is a club decision, which is in line with what they're trying to get their point across to Safety Advisory Group. Or worst case scenario, if it ever ended up in court,
Coroner's court or something.
Yeah.
it's defence is probably the wrong word for it, but sort of
Yeah.
their mitigation, if you know
Yes.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Hang on,
Yeah.
we've tried as much as we can.
You can't
We've kept,
stop
say,
everything, yeah.
500 seats here spare. You know, we can't do any more. But again, I'll stress this is a club decision in relation to allocations. And again, it's no secret, Blues have offered Villa more tickets previously, if you know what I mean, in previous seasons for this fixture.
Yeah.
But it's only ever going to be on a reciprocal basis. Because you imagine if one club offers
3.5,
1,000
yeah.
more, that's not fair, is it?
No.
So that's why the clubs do it. But Blade will explain regarding the Villa sort of reciprocal allocation and why they do it as well. And it's
I mean, everybody moans about the 2,100 allocation, but last season Villa gave a 2,100 allocation to Millwall. It gave a 2,100 allocation to Bristol City. And these are any high risk
What was the
games.
highest allocation Villa gave last
The
season?
most we can give you since going into the Championship is 2,750,
Right.
or 2,755,
Okay.
I believe.
That's because it's yeah.
That's the
it's
maximum
lower and
one,
upper.
Doug Ellis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not outrageous. We're not talking thousands less than
No, we're talking 600
playoff
plus.
semi-final would
Yeah.
get.
So Craig Coates is now asking then, okay, you don't move, or they can't move and they won't move a League Cup game. Why will they move a league game?
that comes down to a decision between the two clubs, the EFL, and the biggest decider in a lot of things is Sky TV.
Right.
Hence, Blues Albion on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Some people, immediately that was
Villa
announced.
Albion on the
Yeah,
Friday night,
as soon
yeah.
as that Blues Albion was announced, straight up people were saying, why have you allowed that game to happen on a Friday night? And that's because Sky came in for it. And as I say, we kept the same policing resources for that game on a Friday night as we would have done for a 3 o'clock Blues Albion, if you know what I mean.
So there was no question from yourselves that you were gonna fight for that.
Blues
not
Albion
to be on
were-
a Friday night.
No, we were quite happy.
Yeah.
It's not mine and Blade's decision.
No, it's not
What happens? The EFL, Sky Start, goes through to the EFL, goes through to the clubs. The clubs then send it through to the police.
Yeah.
And sort of that's how it all works.
Yeah.
And rest assured, I say I've been on a football unit nearly 10 years along with Blade, and you can count the games on one hand West Midlands Police have ever objected to.
Yeah.
And even if they do object, there is no guarantee
That you'll get your way.
that we'll get our way. And as I say, people are surprised Blues Albion, and people are clearly surprised about Albion Villa going ahead on the Friday night as well.
Yeah.
But as I say, no objections at all to it.
Okay, I've got to say well done to Lorraine O'Brien and a big hello. Welcome to you. You are our special guest on the Tilton Talk Trillion Trophies TV this week. For your comments. Do you remember what the comment was, Mrs. Brown? No?
I can't know.
No,
It was a good one.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
Right, we've got 3 competition winners this week, and all you've got to do to enter this week's competition is share this on your own personal Facebook page. Do not share it to any other groups, as Facebook pick it up as spam and ban it. Okay, just share it on your personal Facebook group so that we get the word out about Birmingham City.
And we got 2 3-word reviews as well, which I'll give you the names.
2
of those.
3-word reviews.
Yeah,
2
yeah.
3-word reviews. All right, okay,
Picked by
Ben
Adam
Pickering.
Rooks, so
Go spoil it, it's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday. I don't know. Don't know what that's all about. My birthday's Christmas Day, so unless you're coming up on Christmas Day to buy me a beer, then, which I'll always accept, of course, by the way.
At your age, you want to start forgetting about them, don't you?
What's that, sorry?
At your age, you want to start forgetting about them, really. You know, so.
Am I older than you or younger?
Oh, you're much younger. You just look a lot older.
A question on the derby again, Roy Atwood. Why did the police only allow 25,000 at Blues, but allow Villa to sell out?
It goes back to the same one before, as in club decision.
Yeah.
The club decide, and it's the safety team who decide what seats again they want to say.
Yeah.
Seat kills never sounds right, but you know what I mean. As in, not sell those
Yeah.
seats, and that could be the front 2 rows maybe that they think will prevent people going onto the pitch more.
Yeah.
Keeping more of a segregation between home and away fans again to prevent disorder.
Yeah.
Up at Gilmerrick, no away, home fans
Yes.
over away
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah.
Because for those who've been Wolves Blues over the years will know what happens from the top tier to
Yeah,
the
that
bottom
Friday
tier.
night one.
Especially
I was at
there.
Exactly.
Especially
So-
there, I've had them,
Yeah.
I've had
So
them
what-
spitting at me and all sorts.
Exactly.
like
So
that,
what
yeah.
Blues have said, we don't sell above that. That reduces the chance of that happening beneath.
Yeah.
And whether fans agree or not, you can see where the club are coming from with that. If you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah. So-
for anybody who's had spit pies and hot tea thrown at them at Wolves,
Yeah.
know exactly the
Hot other
reason why
stuff,
it's done.
yeah.
Yes.
Roy's comment there, 25,000, so he's got that 25,000 figure. I think the capacity of Blues, if every seat was taken, is just over 30,012, is it, or something
So it's
ridiculous?
just over 30,000.
Yeah, somewhere between
So you've
about
got
29.
You've got the
and a half
seat
and 30.
kills, the banner between the away and the rest of the Gilmerrick. The upper Gilmerrick is always closed anyway, bar exceptional circumstances like Fulham last season. Take them out. What is if every other seat was filled? Do you know what the attendance
I
would
wouldn't
be?
have thought you'd be far off that 25,000.
Yeah.
If you rule out the front 2 rows at a Cop, the lower Gilmerrick, and with Tilton,
yeah,
and 3/4 of the upper Gilmerrick,
you're looking.
that's
At,
probably not far off 4,500, 5,000 seats,
Yeah.
is it?
Plus
Yeah.
a sterile area.
Plus the sterile area as well.
Yeah.
Because that divide is set roughly at 4,000, where the yellow netting is now.
Yes.
That is roughly
Yes.
4,000. So if you think with 2,100 away fans, that is 1,900 seats.
Yeah.
That's where your 4,500, 5,000 seats are. It sounds a lot.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it's not. a lot
So
at
so
all.
we are literally talking upper Gilmerrick, the barrier, the seat kills between home and away, and the front 2 rows all along the Tilton and the Cop.
I think it's sometimes 3 or 4.
You're
isn't it?
looking at 4,500 seats, aren't you?
I'd have thought
So
if
there is, as frustrating as it is to say, oh, Villa can sell out and we can only have a 25,500.
Villa do the same as well, don't they?
Yeah, I mean Villa don't. I mean we don't sell. I think it's 42,700 is maximum, but we don't sell that. We're probably round about the 41.
Yeah, that including the opportunity if that's open.
Yeah. And I mean that for the last 2 seasons, that's only been opened when ticket sales have dictated
Yes.
otherwise.
Yeah.
Dennis has been a long-term listener on the Tilton Talk Show, all 8 years of it, and he's asked the very first sensible question in his lifetime.
I don't believe it.
I
don't believe it.
Do you travel to away games, or do West Midlands Police leave that then to the relevant police forces?
No, we travel to every single away game. The fans.
How many of you?
Basically, usually it's just ourselves and another spotter we take with us. This is our community. Whether you're at home or away, you're our community.
You'll remember his face forever now, won't you?
And we'll follow you, and we're there to help our community. I am a beat Bobby, and that's how I see myself. My community needs me, although it might be a transient community every other week. They're still my community, so I should go with them and be that link for them.
And that's another reciprocal arrangement. For clubs when they come to the West Midlands as well, they'll provide 2 officers to come and work with West Midlands Police as well. And that's done all around the country. Whenever the game is, you'll have officers from that host force working there.
I'm only 29, 30 next year. I remember a time going to Villa away where we were in the north stand behind the goal. My brother James has just come with the question, would it not be a better idea to move the away fans to a different area, such as the main stand lower? That's obviously a Blues related question.
It's been discussed. It has been discussed in meetings had from the club. It's also been discussed with Villa, if that makes sense to you, to go back to the lower north for the away fans.
I think your problem logistically there is the outward flow. Whereas at the moment you've got the car park to contain people in, and you can block that off relatively safely with when you do the van to van. That can completely kind of block that area off. But then you'll be letting away supporters out with home supporters.
And is it the home fans above the away fans again?
It
like
is.
At Wolves?
Yeah. The other issue is that if you decide to move away fans for one game, you're upsetting those home fans who normally season ticket holders. And I know when Blues have done it in the past for those games you mentioned, West Brom and Middlesbrough with the large away allocation, I know Blues have had complaints from those season ticket holders who have got to move for that one game.
In the lower Gilmerick.
In the lower Gilmerick. And as I say, that's not a police issue, but that's another reason the club are always against it. And if you look at Blues, the away coach park was specifically built for the away coaches.
Yeah, of course.
We discuss it regularly with both clubs, don't we, about moving the fans. But I don't think it would
logistically. I don't think it would be a good idea.
It would be a lot of work for one game.
At Villa Park, it'd be a lot less work to have the away fans behind the goal. I've got to say, and if it was my decision, that's where they would be.
Well, do you know what the easiest solution is?
That's interesting.
Don't allow any away fans in and sell out to all Blue fans.
Well, okay. Yeah.
No.
Why not?
But would that push the issue outside then?
Exactly. Yeah, of course. And you'll get away fans trying to get into the home seats and everything like that.
No, it's no big away from
that's interesting that you should say that. You're in an ideal world, you'd like the away fans to be in the lower north like it used to be.
Yeah. It'd be so much easier to police.
Yeah.
If with the away fans at Villa Park were in the lower north.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a superstar listening in tonight.
Is it Richard?
It is Richard.
Oh,
Richard
good
Taylor.
on you, Richard.
Thank you very much. He said his mum is also born on Christmas Day like myself, and there are only special people born on that day. But he called me Chris.
Wow. It's because I'm his favourite.
Good evening, Richard. This is the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Out in Florida, I take it, in all the warm sunshine, bless him.
Yeah, Miami.
All right, for some.
Beautiful.
All right for some. Right, okay, we're just going to go off that for a few minutes then and talk about the game on Saturday. Did you go?
I did not.
I did not get a ticket either,
No,
so I
I
did not go.
get a ticket.
And I had my little grandson with me over the weekend. We had a lovely time. And he went up
I
went to go and see First Man at the cinema with him. It's all about Neil Armstrong's mission to the moon.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually a very, very, very emotional film, and I do recommend.
It's not about that, is it? Is it about his
it is all about
relationship with his
wife?
It
was his little daughter
lost
had
a kid,
cancer.
did he?
Lost, and he actually took a bracelet up.
Sorry if I'm ruining it for everyone.
It's all right, and threw it into the crate, and I'm like, oh, I'm not,
Yeah.
Yes, I am special, and thanks, Ken
Allegedly,
Smith.
obviously, for all those
I did enjoy my
sceptics out
chips.
there.
Yeah. James Macy wants to know: is it pay on the gate tomorrow? I don't think so, because you
Very
know why?
much doubt it,
Because you know why? Because the
they
Cop
don't
and
sell
the
it.
Tilton are nearly sold
Because they
out.
don't sell pay on the days.
Sold out. You want to listen to Amir's tweets in the daytime, my man?
You want to listen to Amir? Amir has said on numerous occasions there is no point in offering pay on the gate. They have offered pay on the gate at numerous home games over the last couple of years. I think the lowest, they had 4 tickets.
Let's have a look what he's got to say. It's all right, go on.
4 tickets sold. They opened the gates on pay on the gate, and 4 people bought a ticket. So and they have to pay staff to man the office and print tickets off.
Yeah.
And I think the one game there was 4 tickets sold.
That surprises me.
It's just not viable for them.
Okay, so there you go. So it's probably not paying the gate tomorrow. But what you can do, you don't need your fast pass or this pass or the other pass. What you can do is do the print at home option. Print your tickets. Just mosey yourself on down and get in the normal way. Now I'll be leaving home, much to my son's disgust, at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Ready to come home. Coming home tomorrow. Under the lights tomorrow.
So that M6 is alright.
It's not the M6. I don't do the M6. I do the A38 up by the Belfry.
Okay.
Kind of all that way. I wouldn't do the M6. Never do the M6.
Yeah.
And no, the little man didn't get his Stilton. I feel really guilty for it, but he got up on Sunday morning and wanted to watch programmes on Jupiter, Mars, and other celestial bodies. 7 years old. 7 years old. He's an absolute space geek. I tell you, lovely. I love it. He calls me Space Grandad. Space Grandad. Right, okay. Going on then to the game on Saturday. What an absolute cracker of a goal. What a cracking atmosphere. Yeah? And did you see the Monk afterwards? Have you seen the Monk interview? Huh? Have you seen the Monk interview?
Which one?
The one that was on TV?
No.
He's lost his jumper. It's gone. The Monk look has gone.
Oh, okay.
He lost his identity.
Well, after we all
He
said
lost
last
his
week
composure.
that we were going to come in.
He lost his composure.
On
No, not Monk. I'm on
pullover
about Rowett. Sorry, Rowett lost his jumper.
Oh, Rowett.
Yeah, gone for a different look.
Yeah,
lost his identity. Lost his composure.
Lost his
integrity by getting sent off, and lost
about
the game.
Lost the game.
Beautiful.
So-
He lost it,
Beautiful.
basically.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. And I had chips.
When are we having pullover week?
I can't remember. When Monk's in.
Okay.
We could. Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
When Gary
We've got to wait for
Gary
Gary
comes
to
in.
come in. Yeah.
when Gary
I actually
comes
had a chat with Mark Skinner, the
Okay.
Blues Women
Oh, yeah,
manager,
yeah.
on Sunday, and he messaged Gary after the win at Stoke just to say congratulations, and Gary messaged him back saying thank you and good luck for the game on Sunday,
Right.
and I said to Mark, like, you'll have to text him and ask him to come on the show. And he said, wouldn't it be great to have both club managers on the same show? Mark and Gary Monk on the same show.
Superb.
Managers of the men's and women's team on the same
Absolutely
show.
superb. That would be. Yeah.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Down to you, Mrs.
happen.
Brown.
Make it happen.
Down to you,
Yeah.
Mrs. Brown. Right, 2 competition winners this week. Wendy Mills with We're Within Sight for the caption. The 3-word review.
We're within sight of
We're
what?
within sight. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
But we're within sight.
Right.
Okay. And Andrew Whitehouse with Teamwork Gets Results. Teamwork Gets Results. So there you go.
True,
I'm sure Mrs. Brown will be windling
Yeah.
some hats and bits and
Get in
pieces
touch, get
on
in
your way-
touch.
on the way to you very shortly. Yeah, get in touch with the Tilton Talk page and we'll get that sorted out. Now, after the game at Stoke, there was a bit of bother in the five-a-side car park. Don't know whether you know about that or not.
There was
And
a bit
there
of bother after the game, full stop, should we say?
Yeah.
I didn't go, so I can't.
No,
I can't.
I've had
no.
a couple of questions, tweets today about it. There was discussion between the police, the club, whether they were going to hold back at the end of the game
Yep.
on Saturday.
I wouldn't mind a hold back anytime. It doesn't bother me. In the
And
slightest.
I think this shows there's a massive difference in fans who would, quite happily have a hold back and those who are dead against it.
As long as there's got some refreshments and a toilet and this, that, and the other.
Yep.
Hold us back for what is it? What's the maximum you could hold back for?
Well, If you look at the whole, back, 90 minutes last year.
Is that
at
an
St
operational
Andrews.
decision based on what's going on outside the football?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is.
Which is absolutely
I'll be
fine.
perfectly honest. A whole back should probably last 10-15 minutes.
Right.
Sort of in an ideal
I
world.
remember Millwall
there's three-
away in the playoff semi-final back in 2001, and we got out the car park about 3:30 in the morning.
There's three things that I would want.
Yes.
There's three things that I would want from you and from the football club. Number one, as I say, is refreshments. Number two is a toilet, and number three is information.
Yeah.
And I don't think we get the latter. I don't know whether we get refreshments. I've never been in a holdback situation.
What Blues-
Well, the refreshments case would be the club catering, but
Club
normally
catering.
they close them at half time,
Yeah.
don't they? So.
For Villa fans at Blues, the last 2 seasons, the whole back was done.
They've
They were
kept
told
catering
beforehand
open.
it was going to happen.
Yeah.
The catering was kept open. The toilets were kept open, which is down to Birmingham City Football
Yeah.
Club, nobody
Yep.
else.
Yeah.
And information was given
They were
both by the
informed,
police and by the club.
Yeah.
Should a whole back last 90 minutes? Never.
No.
Never ever should a whole back last 90
That's
minutes.
1.5 hours. That's
Yeah.
as long as this show goes on.
But that
for.
was due to the trouble that was happening outside.
But then, even if there was, right, as in my situation, right, I could sort of have my grandchildren with me or whatever. What's an hour and a half towards their safety? Nothing to me. Nothing at all.
So
And
you
it's
mentioned
inconvenient.
about-
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
would rather be able to walk that child home safely, knowing that that I could get back to the car, etc., or the train, or whichever medium we're using. Knowing that the kids are safe. Even my oldest kids. My
Obviously,
oldest
in
is
an
30,
ideal world,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
If I think it varies as well. It depends. If Villa Blues, you're probably catching a train back to Sutton Coldfield or wherever you know. It's not a massive great deal. If you're in London and you've got to get back to, obviously they're not living in the city centre, are they? Because that's all Blues. That's not Villa at all. So, like if you've got Blues travelling away to Arsenal and something happens and there's a hold back and people have got to get back from Euston and things, an hour and a half hold back would be a big difference, wouldn't it? It'd be a big,
the last
it
train
would be
into
a
my
big
town is
disruption.
9 o'clock in the evening.
Well,
that's it.
yeah.
I've got one after that.
So it could be a big disruption. But you mentioned the trouble outside. How if there's a holdback, so if Villa aren't allowed to come out, even if a Villa fan tried to leave with 15 minutes to go, purely he's not interested in the football. He's there for the scrap. If he tried to leave with 15 minutes to go, would he be able to get out of that ground?
Well, we had a bit of a discussion about this at the planning meeting the other week, didn't we? And what's the cut-off time where we say, right,
You ain't going, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's got to be fluid, based
Yeah.
upon the threat and risk outside
Yeah,
and the threat and risk inside as well.
Yeah.
So there's no cold call where at this time everybody's staying in.
okay.
It's got to be based upon threat and risk
Yeah.
and a dynamic decision there and then, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
And just back to the Stoke gang, so I've had a couple of questions about it.
Yeah.
There was no planned holdback. It had been discussed, and if those who remember at Stoke 25 years ago in the FA
7-0.
Cup, no, in
no.
the FA Cup, might have
Okay.
been longer than that, to be fair.
Well, even that 7-0 one was that was bad.
They did the holdback in the FA Cup,
Yeah.
and I think those people who know that, I don't have to remind them of what happened on that day.
Yeah.
But on Saturday there was no planned holdback. It had been discussed. So basically, what happened? Both sets of fans were leaving at the same time. A number of Stoke fans gathered very close to the exit
Right.
of where the Blues fans were coming out. Blues fans started exiting 2-3 minutes after the final whistle, and disorder took place between
Yeah.
those two sets of fans. Due to what was happening, the police have then put a line in front of the Blues fans and pushed them back onto the coach park and held the Blues fans while the Stoke fans were cleared from the area. Now, I was out on the main road at that point. I don't know what messages were given. From what I've been told on Twitter, no messages were given. So if
Yeah.
you were still right back near the stadium, if that makes sense, it's a big old coach
Yeah,
park.
yeah.
If you probably didn't have a clue what was going on, and I've no doubt you thought the gates were closed and you were being held back in.
Yeah.
As I say, and during that time, on the main road, when Blues fans were being held, a number of people were being allowed out. If that makes sense. We had people come to us, elderly people with children,
Kids,
were
yeah.
allowed out to the
Yeah.
side. But the situation was very volatile. There had been disorder. There was further disorder afterwards. Stoke City and the police lay on buses back to the station, full buses, which sounds a lot, but when you've got 1,000 plus by train,
Yeah.
it isn't.
Yeah.
Well, Penny would say, I'm sorry, but we were held back.
Yeah, you were held back. there was no planned holdback,
No
but a
intentional.
holdback then,
Right,
yeah.
a holdback then did take place because
Right.
of the trouble which had taken
Yeah.
place outside the gates.
But that decision is taken.
As a,
At the
as a
time,
notorious
10
fixture,
minutes,
right,
spontaneously.
Yeah.
as a notorious fixture and the history that's gone on between those two clubs, sets of supporters in the past, do you not think it would have been a good idea to advise there had been a holdback? And are these things, after you must have meetings after the events and this, that, and the other, and you bring these up, could we, should we, did we, didn't we?
The thing is, you look at the last two holdbacks I can remember being put in place for Blues fans were West Ham in a Carling Cup semi-final,
Yeah.
when Blues
That was
fans
an odd
forced
game,
open the exit gates, which were closed shut. So that was the first, if you know what I mean. And Millwall last year was another
Okay.
holdback
Right.
where there was the disorder
that
in the
not- that was
coach
a non-game?
compound.
Was that a
No,
non-game?
that was a day game on a
Oh, was it?
Saturday, and one of the gates was nearly forced open, and that is when the police horses were sent into the compound for those who were there. So if you look at those two games, neither ended well.
Yeah.
Not at all. As in the first one, the gates were forced at West Ham, and at Millwall, officers and fans were injured with the holdback. So
Yeah.
it's weighing that up as well. And I say, you speak to like the Football Supporters Federation, people like that, and it really is a 50-50 split. Who thinks a holdback's a good idea and who's not? And you can see that from my Twitter feed
Yeah,
today.
At what point then do you advise a holdback to the supporters?
The one we do at St Andrews for the Villa game, the way St Andrews is designed is good for a holdback.
Right,
The Villa fans have plenty of room underneath the lower Gilmerrick.
in the concourse, yeah.
Go up to the concourse. You've got the ramp for those who've been in the away end. It sounds silly. A lot of Blues fans probably haven't been in the away end. But you've got a long ramp going up to the coach park, and then you've got the coach park, which is quite a decent size. It holds about 15, 18 coaches. So you've got plenty of room for a holdback. Whereas at Villa Park, Blade,
No, I mean the concourse areas of the Doug Ellis where the away fans are totally unsuitable to hold anybody back. To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
we couldn't do a hold back at Villa Park for away fans because of the size of the concourse areas,
Yeah.
and the confines that they're held in. It would be, I'd think, dangerous.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
but it's a tough decision, and I don't think there's a right or a wrong. If you know, what I mean. We should be at a stage we shouldn't have to hold fans
No,
back, should
absolutely,
we?
that's all.
But the thing
Fans
is,
should just be able
if you
to
go
leave.
to that holdback, so if you say before the game, whatever happens, we're holding them back half an hour, and then 10 minutes after the game, there's nobody outside. You'll get criticised. What was the point in holding us back?
It's one of those situations you can't win, can
Yeah,
you? You know what I
can't
mean?
win that
It's
situation.
and I say, but the way I look at it, 90 minutes for any sets of fans like the Villa fans have had last year
Yeah.
is totally unacceptable, and that was due to the level of violence which was taking place
Yeah.
outside, and that violence was towards police officers at that point. It wasn't
Yeah.
towards rival fans because
Yeah.
the Villa fans are all still locked inside the ground.
Yeah.
Kevin Kelly, who picks up the bill?
I'll let-
Who picks up the
Here
bill?
we go.
Okay, this is quite.
Who picks up the bill for policing? Do Sky or the clubs, and are West Midlands Police the most expensive police in the UK, according to David Sullivan, ex-chairman of Blues?
Certainly not. Basically, we had various different agreements, and the agreement that's in place is the Ipswich agreement. It basically sets out what a club can pay for policing, and what we do is we look at a footprint of a ground, and if police are on that footprint, then the club pay for those policing for the hours that they're on. So you could have some police on the footprint for 6 hours, you could have police on the footprint for 3 hours. They will pay
So
for
would
that.
the footprint extend all the way down to McDonald's Island?
Not at all.
On Derby Day,
No.
where
Not at
No,
all.
take for example.
And it is the same footprint for every game.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
okay,
every
yeah,
game.
that's-
So
question, yeah.
near enough, the Birmingham City footprint is the four corners of the stadium and the car park. So the away coach park,
Right.
the Cop car park,
And
and
the car
the
park
main
and main
stand.
stand.
Yeah.
The road closure, as it is now down to McDonald's,
sensible
no,
idea, by the way.
no.
Very sensible idea.
It is
like
a
that
sensible
one.
idea, and to say the police cannot charge for putting staff on that main
Okay.
road.
And under the Ipswich agreement as well, at Villa Park, we can't charge to put police right outside the away turnstiles
Can I play
because
devil's
it's on a
advocate?
public road.
So you,
Oh, okay.
so you've got
that
so
wouldn't
you've
be
got
that wouldn't be
That's
club
not
cost.
charged.
so
either.
you've got
No.
officers on a public highway which the club doesn't get charged for,
Yeah.
and there's a disturbance inside the football ground, and those officers get called in. do they then get charged for them officers that get called in?
Yeah, the club can request other officers to come in, and they get charged if they do come onto the footprint.
So the club has to request more police presence.
It's a difficult one because, yes, they have. Basically, the club have to request us in the first place. We can't just rock up to the club and say, we're policing this game next week.
Yeah. But, listen to from my point of view, right? Okay, there are 200 police officers outside St Andrews on Derby Day, right?
Yeah.
There is a disturbance inside the football ground. And because there is a civil disturbance, you're saying that you can't do anything about it?
We can do something about it, and we will go in, but we don't unilaterally make that decision. The Bronze Commander will speak to the safety officer and say, I've got more officers outside, shall we bring them in to assist? Yeah. So it'll be a decision between the safety officer and the Bronze Commander.
Yeah.
It's virtually said, we need to bring these in.
Okay.
So,
but I think we have got to remember, as Blade said, the football match is the club's event.
Yeah.
We are invited guests, if that makes sense.
Okay. But then I'm working in a pub and we put a temporary events notice in because we want to have a DJ in or something like that. That then becomes a public event, and there's trouble there. Say, for instance, there hasn't been, don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
Are you paid multi-million pounds to put that event on?
Not paid multi-millions of pounds, no.
And is that a regular event that's on week in, week out that you know about?
But then a football club has got 20, 30,000 supporters coming in.
But it's also got...
The pub's got 30, 40, 50 people going in. It's a very big difference.
So the fixtures are announced in June. So the club knows in months and months and months in advance when their game against this club is going to be played. They've got stacks of time to work out what they need and how many people they need around it.
Another very interesting question here from Benji Smith. How did West Midlands Police feel about skydiving talk show hosts, and how many fatalities have they seen from skydiving? We're trying to get him to do one.
It's not happening. It's not happening. Give it up, everyone.
I've got to say, I would like to see that.
I bet.
Buzzrock wants to know who polices K2.
K2.
Yeah, there was a question here as well. Are you, Robert Doyle, are you cheaper per person than the security, inverted commas, company that steward the game?
Not at all.
The issue with K2, Birmingham City fans, I'm sure most of you are aware, a meeting was held between various parties.
Yeah.
The police were there, K2 were there, which I've got to say, whatever your thoughts on K2, fair play to K2 MD for turning up on that night, because I have no doubt as a private company, a lot of other companies probably wouldn't have turned up. Birmingham City Safety Officer was there, representatives of Birmingham City were there, and then thanks to Dave Brown, support liaison, he got about 10-12 fans there as well, from Block 4 and the surrounding areas, and a meeting was held. We all know the issues are not resolved in Block 4, not at all. However, I'd like to think that meeting has gone a little way to trying to address the problems. The club have taken on board, and say the safety team have taken on board some of the suggestions. I know K2 have taken on board some of the suggestions, and from what I've seen in Block 4, clearly self-policing has taken place on those games since. And when I say self-policing, that's not people dragging people out of the way and making citizens arrest. That's just people perhaps saying to other people, come on, step back, move away from the barrier. And I've seen that for myself. But as I say, in relation to K2 provide 200 to 300 stewards every game at Birmingham City. And I think the other... do
you think it's necessary to have that many? I mean, I was at the Rotherham game.
It's because it's also to do the safety certificate. And Blade will probably tell you the best...
So that would be through the councils, etc.
Blade will probably say the best example was from the Villa Albion Cup game, wasn't it? In relation to stewarding
where
numbers.
Where the club were criticised for having too few stewards.
Right.
So,
if you remember, that was
where they ran on the pitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not being funny, right? From a football supporter's point of view, now I met my brother at St Andrews last week against the Rotherham, and that was his first game since the 70s. He lives out in New Zealand and brought his wife with him. That was her first game whatsoever. And we were sat right down the front by the goal, and 5 minutes before time, all the K2 stewards come out with their bright oranges on, and it frightened her half to death, the poor woman. She'd never seen anything like it. And she said, there's going to be trouble, there's going to be no trouble.
Stewards are always deployed sort of at the front towards the end of the game. I say, it's one of those, it's a very difficult situation, but I think another thing that I will say in relation to stewarding full stop, especially the K2 thing, 200 to 300 stewards is what they provide. People say just go and get another company.
You ain't going to find another company with 200 to 300 registered
Exactly.
staff, because they all have
No.
to be SIA registered and that, don't they?
Yeah,
So-
people say get Birmingham City's own stewards. Well, I know how hard the safety team work each summer. You've probably seen the adverts they put out constantly trying to recruit staff during the summer, especially. They don't get those numbers. They don't, and those numbers they do get.
As someone,
And we're not going to be disrespectful now, but many of those stewards are young females. What chance would they stand, really? Really?
I think the thing is, if you speak to the safety,
It's a presence and it's an orange jacket,
Yeah.
and I understand all that. But if anything was to properly kick off, right, the three parts of them wouldn't stick a chance.
But then you've got to look at what the role of a steward is. Is a steward's
Yeah.
role to get stuck in and
That's the
move
problem.
people
I
out,
think- but I
or is a
think, yeah.
steward's role there as part of the safety
yeah.
of the event?
Okay, get that.
And that's a big, and I think that's a big thing and a big complaint that not only Block 4 other supporters have about K2 is that Blade's point, your role as a steward is not to go wading in and kicking off and aggravating any.
I know you
any
can't speak for
issues that
K2, you don't
are.
work for them. I know that.
No,
And I
that's
think
right.
there are instances where that has been the case.
Going
And
back to
don't get me
policing.
wrong, stewards can use reasonable force to eject
Well, anybody
somebody.
can, can't they?
Yeah, and anybody can
yeah.
to use reasonable force to eject
Yeah.
somebody from the stadium. And our role is to allow that to happen, but to be there to step in to prevent a breach of the peace.
Yeah.
How good is the CCTV at St Andrews?
excellent.
I have heard.
They have installed, and many grounds have in the West Midlands, spent thousands upon thousands installing CCTV and upgrading CCTV. I can assure you it is absolutely excellent, as it is at Villa Park, as it is at most of the West Midlands clubs, as it is all around the country.
Okay, Paul Hipkiss, why did we have to ship in loads of Welsh police for the last Villa game at St Andrews?
We did it once. We did it for the first game back in the Championship, so season before
3
last.
years ago, yeah.
Basically, that comes under what we call mutual aid. We can request officers from other forces.
Right.
That costs us money. That doesn't come free, if you know what I mean, getting officers from other forces.
So that doesn't go into the football club's budget because most of them were outside?
Yep.
Right.
So that West Midlands Police would pay to get officers from other areas. The reason they do it is because we've only got so many police officers.
Yeah.
If you know, so to ease the burden on West Midlands Police,
Especially on a Sunday dinner time.
you go to another force and you get officers. The thing is, the feedback we've had, and it was brought up in the debrief we had, it didn't work on that day with officers from Wales
Right.
for whatever reason that is. Will we be doing it again? No.
No. We
The
cancel
consensus of opinion,
rest days.
that, when I looked on social
Yeah,
media,
yeah.
The consensus of opinion of Birmingham City supporters, right, and I'm one of them, was that some of them had just come down for the day, if you know what I mean.
Well, they were on duty for one day for about 12 hours in Birmingham. We send officers out of force quite regularly to police football matches in different force areas, to police events in different force areas, as I say, and it's a difficult situation to be in. You're suddenly dropped, for want of a better term, to work that game.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is the biggest game in the West Midlands, and as I say,
You're working with a community that's not your community as
Yes, yeah, of
well.
course.
So
yeah.
you've got no ownership of it,
Yeah.
have you?
Right.
And that's the problem. We want officers that own that community. We want officers that are going to be there next week to as well to face.
the Blues Villa game.
Look, this is a great forum tonight for you two guys to get your faces with all these supporters out here, and this will be looked at by 30,000 people over the next 24 hours or so. Do you think that sometimes you alienate yourselves from football supporters?
That's what the West Midlands Police Force Football Unit are trying to get over.
And things like
That's-
this
that's-
are brilliant for like
Rest
bringing people
assured,
together.
I don't think there'll be another force in the country, football unit, who would turn up on a radio show like
Yeah,
this.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think there would be. I can say that hands down, hand on heart.
Not without a press officer in
I can
tow
understand you
saying,
coming, but a
"Can't
Wolves
play."
fan, you know what I mean? We've got Dingle's in the midst.
But no, as I say, Twitter was the first way we've tried to engage. We probably started Twitter 5-6 years ago now.
There's a number of other clubs who
yeah.
have got their police forces.
Yeah,
on
we've got
Twitter
the
now,
Independent Advisory Group, which is the first in the country, which is made up of near enough 2 fans from each of the 6 West Midlands club,
Right.
and that is now, we are an invited guest of the Independent Advisory Group, if you know what I mean. We chaired the first one.
Classed as trailblazers now, I believe.
Yeah, and then it was handed over to them. That takes place once a month, and at the last meeting we had West Yorkshire Police,
Yeah.
Bedfordshire Police and the Metropolitan Police all come to see the work we do.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we've still got work to do. We're not saying we're perfect. Please don't ever imagine we're saying we're perfect, because we're not. However, we're trying to engage more, you know.
And that is massive.
It is.
For a football fan, it's massive.
And we will take on. We'll take.
When we played Bruges away, and then Bruges came to play at St Andrews, right? When we played over in Bruges, the reception that we got from the people and the police and everybody over there was second to none. We were welcomed into that city. When the guys from Bruges came into Birmingham on a freezing cold Tuesday night, they were herded up from New Street with dogs, right? And I got a 6-year-old child in my hand, and I was walking from the housing estate at the bottom of the coach park, right, the away coach park, walking through that housing estate onto the Coventry Road, and there was this dog leaping up at a 6-year-old child, right, and this police officer roaring at me, "Get the kid away from the dog." I said, "Get the dog away from the kid. He's got it on a lead." Right, there was absolutely zero need for those people to be welcomed into the city of Birmingham like that on that night, because all we wanted to do was mix with them, shake their hands, give them a hug, and say what an absolute wonderful time everybody had over in Bruges. Thank you very much. And then they were just herded like sheep down a, washing well. You know what I mean?
In a sense,
I know I've had me say.
No, but it's different. I think it's different. You know, listen, I can't. I didn't go to Bruges, so I don't know what the.
No, but we've all seen the videos. We've seen the videos.
Yeah,
they're all over YouTube,
but
Chris.
Look at. I know maybe Bruges is different to Spain, but look at how the away fans are treated in Spain and Italy and things like that. And
We've both policed around the world, because we've both been England spotters. Yeah. And whenever we go and
that's
police,
a pretty good job, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Whenever we go and police, we have England fans coming up to us while we're there and saying, "We don't know how lucky we are to have you."
Yeah.
But that's all forgotten when we go back.
We
get back in the season.
Yeah.
But they experience the policing who don't have any escalation plans.
No.
They go from 0 to 4 in tear gas. Yeah. Whereas there's no communication, there's no social media or anything like that. And we care. Like I said, these are our communities. We've got a buy-in. We care about our communities. We take it personal. I've travelled 80-mile round trip to be here tonight to talk to you on my rest day, because I care and we want to get our views across to you.
And like I say, a forum like this is a great way of doing it, because you're going out live, and what we say is what is going out. The people are listening to what you're responding and how you're responding. And I can't thank you enough for coming.
We've both attended,
because this is something we as a show have
forums
wanted to
as
do
well
for years.
We regularly attend fans forums at Blues, at Villa, at different supporters clubs, and we've got no issue, in going there. And we will take on people's criticism. We will take on people's ideas as well, and we regularly do.
Well, we often invite them in and say, "We're looking at this. Is there any way we can do it better?" And we're asking people who've been to that game 20, 30 years.
Yes.
We're only policing it for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So we're saying to you, what do you think?
Yeah.
What can we do better? And we take those on board and then we put it into practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Robert Dawes made a very good point.
I've seen that one.
What is a washing well?
Well, when the
sheep down a washing well.
I think Robert wants a bit of
I've got a bit of clarification on what on earth is a washing well.
You knew what I meant. Exactly. I was a bit embarrassed as a football supporter and as a Birmingham City fan to see those people treated like that on that night. To be honest with you, when there was zero trouble in Bruges, nothing, no issues whatsoever. Everybody was having a good time, drinking. So come on, if we'd have heard that.
If there was
anybody out there go to Bruges, see any trouble, right? Okay, they'll have to answer me in a second. There'll be enough of them out there.
There's plenty of them there, so someone should,
Yeah, sorry we can't read out all of your posters. Absolutely,
keep them coming now.
Of them coming through.
We'll try and get them.
Can I just mention a couple?
Can you mention what?
Hats off to West Midlands Police. Good show. Keep right on.
Nice one. See.
Yeah. Well said, Nick. Somebody says.
Well, you know.
Benji said fair play.
If you're not here to answer, what are you here for?
Exactly. Because the thing is, on Twitter, you've only got so many characters.
Jez
or-
McDonough,
or
I
you
went
just-
to-
Things can come across differently.
Exactly, or you answer 4 or 5 different questions on the same one, and people misread it, or I misread it,
Yeah.
and then somebody else puts a comment in before you've answered it, and
Yeah.
you're answering the wrong question. Whereas this, it's the ideal sort of platform to do it.
Yeah.
Dogger and washing bows, come on, Nick. Dogger. That was last week's.
It was.
A deliberate
Gary
mistake.
Fletcher says, yes, there was trouble in
Yeah, I've
Bruges.
just seen that one. Okay. Jez McDonough says I was there and there was no trouble. So I dare say.
And I think this
sporadic,
is
it
always the
might
thing,
be.
isn't it? Is that
Yeah.
for one person who's seen something, like Stoke on said, I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
some
yeah.
fans will say they never saw a thing.
Yeah.
Other fans will say, and you can see
I
some
think-
of the stuff on
Well, the
Twitter
man that
saying
was
there was
goading
trouble
the
as
Birmingham
well.
City
Steve
supporters,
Portman.
the man that was goading the Birmingham City supporters in the five-a-side car park on Saturday had the word Essex written on his back, so that might be a nice big help for you.
Right.
There you
Go
go
on,
then.
Steve Portman, and then I'm going on to a very
Yeah,
serious
Steve
issue.
Portman put a comment earlier. He left with 5 minutes to go, I think, from the Stoke game, and he come out.
Oh,
and
Steve's
there
one
was
of
no
our
trouble
disabled
whatsoever.
supporters, isn't he?
And he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
went straight out.
It was.
so-
It was also noticeable to see.
Yeah.
I know Blues scored a late goal, which will always change things with the
Yes,
home fans
of
a little
course,
bit.
yeah.
But what I did notice, I was outside. I went outside shortly after Blues scored. So with what injury time and the goal, probably about 10, 12 minutes to
Yeah.
go. And it was noticeable at that point. There was an awful lot of Stoke fans leaving with young children.
Yeah.
And from comments I was hearing from these fans, it was quite clear why they were leaving early, and that wasn't because their team was losing.
They knew what was
I
happening.
think they probably knew what could have
What was
I
happened.
was reading on
Yeah.
social media.
And it's sad, but you did. For me to
Yeah,
see children
yeah.
in tears at the end of the game because of trouble
Horrible,
taking
violent.
place.
I can't stand it from anybody, not from our supporters or from anybody
and
else.
to
and
see
everybody knows what
5-6-year-old
happens,
children in tears, they're the next generation of football fans.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
And to see them in tears being carried down the road, and these were both Blues and Stoke fans in tears as well.
And the ladies. I need a chill-out pill. I'm too lively.
Yeah.
Kev
Steve
Smith
left
says
before
no
the
trouble. I
goal.
was in Bruges. I was one of the 2,000 without tickets. Roy Atwood, no trouble. So perhaps there was a little bit somewhere, but I don't know. But I mean,
Yeah.
But all I can say is that all the videos that I've ever seen is that the Bruges authorities and the Bruges City Centre welcomed Birmingham City with open arms, and we welcomed them with dogs. And I don't think that was right.
Okay.
That's my opinion. There we go.
Steve Gill says, respect to the guys. Can you bring them
Absolutely.
in after the Villa game and give us an update on how the game went?
Yeah.
By all means.
Yeah,
Would you
yeah.
do that?
By,
Yeah,
of course you will.
Superb. Right, going on to another serious situation in 2 minutes, right? But also got to say congratulations to everybody who took part in Dev's charity football game against Wolves Old Stars on Sunday. Thank you for everybody that turned up there and supported the cause of little Annie. Bless her.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Don't
I
forget.
wanted to just mention something as well quickly.
Of course.
On Twitter, obviously the Blues Twitter and the guys at Blues, everybody has been recently have been fantastic with supporters, haven't they? The little lad you mentioned
Yes.
at the start who died,
Yeah,
Gary
yeah.
put a really nice
Oh,
tweet
mate,
out.
It's lovely.
You know, and the players have been around to ground. And I noticed Djukovic put a comment, put a little thing up for Beth Capewell as well. Now, I don't know Beth personally, but as someone who, up until a few years ago, was a regular home and away supporter, I know of Beth. And I've seen her around away games and things like that. And I know she's going through a pretty difficult time at the moment. So, thoughts with Beth as well at this time, and hopefully she gets better soon and
Absolutely.
starts to feel better.
And anybody who wants to mention for whatever reason, we're always up for helping people out as well. Yeah, that's part of the cause. Craig Cox still waiting for a reason why West Midlands Police can't control Blues Villa on a Saturday 3 o'clock, but the Met can control multiple games in and around London, some high risk, especially travelling fans into London.
I believe one of the questions that we had was the Old Firm Derby. Why they allowed 8,000 fans?
Yeah.
We actually looked that up, and the last allocation of the last game just gone.
796 was the allocation Rangers got at Celtic this season. Why that was, I don't know. And yes,
Really?
in previous
Yeah,
years
that's true, yeah.
it was 8,000 the allocation both ways.
So dropped it to 700.
796.
Celtic get the whole end behind
yeah, as I
Ibrox,
say,
though, don't they?
I can find that answer
Yeah.
out, and I will speak to Police Scotland why that was the case. But that's a huge drop from 8,000 to 800.
That's crazy,
it's a massive
yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
But as I say, other forces, it's down to other forces at the end of the day, if you know what I mean, when they want that game. The other thing is, Blues and Villa want the game at 12 o'clock on a Sunday.
They both want it.
The
12
two
o'clock
clubs
Sunday.
wanted at 12 o'clock
Right,
on a
okay.
Sunday.
And the thing with then is they've said at the start of the season it should be 12 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah.
The EFL have then published the game as 12 o'clock on a
Yeah.
Sunday. So we have to then cancel rest days for all the officers.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change that after that, we've then got to reinstate rest days. So everybody's made plans for the Saturday instead of the Sunday.
Yeah.
Because people would know that day's
Yeah.
they're not going to.
But again, this is the point we're making. The clubs both
The
asked for
clubs.
that game at 12 o'clock
Say
on
out of
Sunday.
the blue, the Sunday one, this Sunday, the away game goes off no problem, no issue whatsoever. A lot of the usual nonsense, and everything goes smoothly. 12 o'clock kickoff. Come March, the home game, both teams are in the playoffs. EFL and the Sky come along and say, top of the table clash. We want this Saturday night at 5:30.
To be fair,
And the clubs say, and obviously say they throw enough money at it, and the clubs say, okay, go on then.
okay, so then we go to the SAG and we'd say, here are the reasons why this game shouldn't go ahead at 5:30 on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's not our decision.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
it's then down to the safety advisory group and the council who are
Yeah.
with the safety certificate if they want to alter the S factor at all to limit the number of people attending.
Yeah.
I better explain the P and S factor. To get a full capacity of ground, the council give the club a P factor and an S factor, and if they're both 1, then the club has a full capacity.
Okay.
The council can alter that capacity by altering the S factor. The P factor is the physical, so you can't really change unless the club change something of the physical layout of the ground.
The ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always going to be a 1. But they can change the S factor, the safety factor,
Yeah.
and they can change that to 0. At which point, then no fans would be allowed inside that stadium.
Right.
So that's the power that the local Birmingham City Council could
So
have over
actually-
that fixture.
Council holds sway more than anybody.
They are
potentially.
informed
If
by
it got
us.
that far.
Yeah,
Potentially,
if
yeah.
it got that far.
Right.
But I genuinely don't think Birmingham City or Aston Villa would ever come to West Midlands Police
I'm sorry.
saying, can we play that game at 5:30?
Yeah.
Because what you got to think of is after the Blues Villa game in the League Cup where there was the match pitch invasion,
At Blues, yeah.
Yeah. Blues were threatened with points deductions and everything and
Yeah.
fines, weren't they?
Yeah. Right.
And then after the Villa West Brom quarter final at Villa
Yeah.
Park,
Same
they
thing.
were also, I mean,
Right.
£250,000 fine Villa got and threatened with points deduction as a result. So they're not going to put their
Just not
clubs
worth it,
in that
yeah.
position because ultimately that could be a lot of money down the line, couldn't it?
Yeah.
It could be the difference
Yeah, of
between
course.
promotion or relegation.
Jess Beecham, we all know how hard Blues is. We all know that Blues is the hardest game out of the two to police. Hats off to the old Bill when we go to the Villa. They have nailed it to a T. Don't see a Villa fan until we get to the stadium.
I was going to ask that. I was going to say, what's the Blues fans' verdict
Yeah,
on
you
the
just
policing
said it.
operation at Villa?
The last time I went was that Tuesday night game, a few under Rowett.
come back under the new one because it's changed completely.
Yeah. And there was-
I'd love to bloody get a ticket to be able to enjoy it.
And
Yeah.
on that cup game, that was the last
Right,
game. There were
22
no
already.
restrictions in place. When I say restrictions, that was which way Blues fans could come in,
Yeah.
which way Blues could leave.
Yeah.
For anybody who went to that cup game that night, they will know from about 7 o'clock till kick-off, there was serious disorder all the way down Whitton Lane between
Yes.
Blues and Villa fans.
Yes.
Hence the reason restrictions
We had this
have been
plan.
put in
We had this
place.
plan, and we wanted to put it in place for that fixture, but
Okay.
it was considered too bold to put that plan in place. But after phase 1, which is before the game, and all the problems we had, they then said, right, we're putting your plan in place for phase 3. And
For
then
after the game.
yeah, and then we
okay.
put that plan in place, and there was no issues virtually after
Right.
the game. Then
So then it was just tweaked a little bit for the games,
Yeah.
and now the metal barriers are put across the road, the vans are put across the road, and if you can buy the coach or train, people still, because I had one the other day saying, why do you make us come by train?
we don't.
We don't make you come by train.
Yeah.
Numerous people catch the bus there, numerous people
Yeah.
drive there, numerous people,
Yeah, yeah.
It's your personal choice. There's no restrictions. The only restrictions are in which way you can actually get to
You
those
can
away
only enter.
turnstiles.
You can
Yeah.
only enter the away turnstiles from one area.
Yeah.
And the rest of the ground is virtually cut off from that. So
Well, that game, I work. We've got a client who is by the Tesco,
Yeah.
just down the road. from the away turnstiles, and that our clients is just there. So I used their car park and drove down and got there. So,
I mean, Blues fans, we're always, if you're going to park up Brookvale Road, because that'll give you the easiest access into the
I wouldn't want to go there anyway. Okay, got to mention KNBP, which is Kids Need Both Parents. Don't forget to visit their shed outside their office. Outside the COP the COP stand tomorrow evening. I'm sure they'll be there all loaded up. Or Saturday. BHST, an appeal been put out for rucksacks and clothes, please. Rucksacks and clothes.
Oh, we've got a couple of rucksacks.
Rucksacks, if you've got it, you bring them in. I'll drop them at the Conservative Club on my way back next Monday.
I'll bring them in next week.
Lovely,
I've got 3
there's
bags
2.
of stuff in my car, so
You have?
if you want to bring your stuff here, I'll take it all up at once.
Perfect, okay, so
Bring your stuff
if
in.
everybody that's listening tonight wants to bring all their stuff to Chris Brown's house,
To be honest, I don't mind.
he genuinely doesn't mind, because what we'd get is the lads with a van to come and pick it up on next Monday night, and it's always a bit nice to drop them in and you see it. Right, okay, here's one for you then, gentlemen. We've got a game at St Andrews tomorrow night under the floodlights. It's going to be a big old crowd there. There's a lot of excitement buzzing around the Blues at the moment. The team's doing absolutely brilliant. The manager is like a god to us. And we're welcoming Reading Football Club into Birmingham tomorrow night. Now, there has been some tweets from at Y26 Ultras.
I am aware of those
You are aware?
Yeah.
Now, whether that is a 12-year-old kid on a keyboard trying to wind people up, or whether that is a serious threat to people's life, at this point in time, you probably don't know. In all fairness.
No, we don't. We have no idea. Now, I did reply to one of the tweets earlier, not from that account direct, but somebody who sent it to me. We spend a horrendous amount of our time dealing with tweets, which are put out onto other social media platforms. There's 2 in the last couple of weeks, which are hate crime. No other word for them. One that came in on Saturday after the Wolves.
Would that be classed as hate crime, threatening to kill Birmingham City supporters?
No. But what I'm saying is, as in,
so you can threaten to kill somebody. Is that acceptable?
No, you can't.
Right, this is where I'm getting to with the whole.
It wouldn't be a hate crime.
Right. Okay.
Hate crime. The other one we dealt with was a disability. That was what the tweet was about.
If anybody does that. Vile.
And one that came in Saturday was identical as well. So we deal with an awful lot. There's a fine line between banter and what oversteps the mark and somebody takes great offence. Do I think somebody putting a picture of a knife on the end of those tweets?
What an idiot.
Correct.
What an absolute tool.
Now, how do I know? How do West Midlands Police know whether that is serious or, like you say, some 12-year-old kid sat on his laptop in his bedroom?
He's never been to a football game.
Yeah, but you can see from the replies, for everybody who's saying you're an idiot, there's clearly some people who genuinely may be thinking, what's this all about, if you know what I mean? And this is the problem. Social media is brilliant to get your message across, but then when you've got people tweeting, we're going to bring 70, 80 lads to you tomorrow night with a picture of a knife, and if you read some of his other tweets he's put on regarding carrying knuckle dusters and things, as I say, how am I supposed to take that? Is that something to be taken seriously, or as you say, is that some 12-year-old kid who really should be doing something better at the age of 12, probably like his homework?
Probably not a 12-year-old kid. Probably a little bit older than that, I would have thought.
I doubt it.
I don't know.
And
that would be, but that, and I'm sure you guys as well. You're sitting there probably thinking, this is the last thing we need now, idiots like this. But,
it is.
But it is the last thing we need. It's going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be a great occasion. Say you do
nothing about it. Say you take no interest whatsoever, and then 70, 80 lads do come up and stab someone.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It is. This is what.
Where do you draw that line?
It's very difficult. We categorise each fixture and we do a risk assessment. It's not a finger in the air and say we're going to put 50 police on.
I could do that risk assessment for you. Because I've been going since 1972.
Yeah. Now you can imagine Birmingham against Reading on a Tuesday night with probably 500-ish, 600 away fans is a low risk game.
Yeah.
Nobody else would say any different to that.
100%.
However, then you start reading chummy on the internet, what do you suddenly start thinking? Do we suddenly go, let's press the panic button and get 200 police officers on tomorrow night?
One tweet, how many Brum fans will be unconscious after the game on Tuesday? What an absolute numpty. What a stupid, moronic little individual you are, whoever you are. If that's all you can do for your life. Goodness gracious me,
Stephen Carr says, so how have the tweets been treated?
At the moment, I've reported that account to Twitter.
Right.
Sadly, how quick Twitter work, I can probably think that account will still be there in a week's time, 2 weeks' time.
Jez McDonald says, I'm sure the police can track the IP address.
Yeah, we can.
You can do, yeah.
We can.
You can do.
Again,
But
that's
takes
not a quick thing to do.
Yeah. And this has been in the news as well with messages sent to Karen Carney.
Wayne Merritt.
Exactly.
What a disgrace that was. Man, I was livid, incensed.
You know, so it's unfortunately it's the downside of one of the downsides of social media, isn't it?
It is, but we do investigate a number of allegations of sort of hate crime from Twitter.
Yeah.
And you say most people read these and are absolutely disgusted. What makes it worse is that sadly when these tweets come out, you then see people retweeting and liking what the person.
Yeah.
Well, you're as bad as the person who's actually written that tweet in the first place.
Wayne Merrick, surely you should then treat that threat as a real one. I think it's something you're keeping in your heads. So have the tweets been taken by yourself? Da 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 da. Blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. We're into the last 15 minutes, people, and the share competition results are going to come out now. We're going to get one of you wonderful gentlemen to pull out a ticket out of our
I'll let
Tilton
you pick
Talk,
it out, seeing as you're
Tilton Talk Trillion Trophies trophy.
You want to do it?
This is
Colin's going to do it. Nobody would want to be
and the winner of the shares competition.
The Villa football officer
for this
pulling
week
the name
is dun, 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 dun.
John McDonald.
John McDonald, there you go, John. Get in touch with the Tilton Talk Show and we'll get some prizes off to you. It is, of course, the world famous Tilton Talk Show on a Monday night, and it is the last 15 minutes. Now, gentlemen, what we do in the last 15 minutes on the Tilton Talk Show, we do have a little bit of a comedy going on. And as we've got West Midlands Police in with us tonight, the theme is going to be anything to do with police and football. Okay, so any word association
Here we go.
that you can do with police and football. Now,
Oh,
keep it
yeah.
clean, absolutely keep it clean.
Respectful.
Because don't forget, these two guys are reading every message that comes through. Right, I'm going to start you off with one that I saw earlier, which was brilliant, which was Old Bill Shankly. There you go, Old Bill Shankly. Okay. And then also have your score predictions for tomorrow night, please, if we could do that.
Can
over
I
the
also
next
say
5
extra
minutes.
points if Karen Brady is not included in
Or Jeff Horsfield.
or
Pork
Jeff
kill.
or
pork pies.
or meat.
For goodness sake.
Oh dear me. So yeah, going back to that tweet, that's something that you're keeping in your mind.
Yeah, we'll keep it in mind. As I say, it's a difficult situation. We get this all the time, sadly. As I said, tomorrow, as you can imagine,
Paul Gill says, sorry, that's just killed the watching figures.
It's a low category game, like it should be between Birmingham and Reading. The other thing we've got to remember, it comes to policing, we're not there purely the violence and disorder side, not at all. You've got to remember the world we live in, sadly, at the moment. And you mentioned it before, Nick, in relation to the road closure. We now have taser officers, which are officers armed with taser. We have firearms officers on duty as well. And that is purely the public reassurance side, and sadly the world we live in now as well.
Was that a credible threat that had been made to the club that you'd caught wind of that made
Not
that
at
road
all,
closure?
No. I mean, from what we saw in Nice, and then we felt that we needed to protect ourselves for a Nice type attack, and then we saw a copycat. So we started to introduce road closures really after the Nice attack, really.
And that's
2016.
But that road closure also facilitates the exit of football supporters.
Yes,
a lot
it's
quicker.
replicated across all of them.
It does. To me, there was a lot of, I wouldn't say criticism, that's probably the wrong word. A lot of people were very sceptical when that road closure was brought in. However, now, you can see it at the end of the game. The crowds clear much quicker.
I think they do.
I think the club have worked out around, give or take for you, 10,000 people go down to Coventry Road at the end of the game.
Got to be, at least.
That road closure is normally lifted by 10 past, 5:15. Now, if you think gone are the days of games finishing at 5:15, let's be honest, you're normally there till 5 o'clock now, aren't you?
Absolutely.
So that road clears within 15, 20 minutes. Now, I'm sure if you look back in years gone by when there was cars going up and down the road,
Terrible, horrible.
You were walking on the pavement, people were weaving in and out, and it
yeah.
probably took a lot longer. Yes, we still get congestion.
So the car park's closed?
The car park is closed. You can't leave.
Because there used to be cars coming out. It's terrible.
It's
Brilliant
closed
decision.
by the club
To me, an absolutely
on
brilliant
75 minutes.
Yeah.
It's closed from near enough an hour before kick-off, but they're quite flexible with that. And then, as I say, reopens about 5 minutes after kick-off and closes on 75 minutes.
Buzz Rock, this is my first watch. I'm very impressed. Keep right on. Thanks, Buzz. You can tune in every Monday night at 7:30 through till 9. Jez McDonald wants to know who pays for all your hats.
Ourselves, really.
Love it. Yeah.
3-1 the Blues from Paul Smith. Andy Smith going 4-0. Robert Doyle 2-1. And Stephen Gill 2-2. Oh, dear me.
No.
Stephen
We'll beat
Gill.
those
Stephen
tomorrow.
Gill. Oh. Kev Kelly, front row police
rubbish.
numbers in the UK have fallen from 126,000 to 104,000 since 2010. Does this make it more difficult to provide the officers for public events?
Yes, it really does. We're having to
Sorry,
do.
Bobby Moore. Come on,
Very
Bobby
good.
Moore. That's a good one.
We're having to do a lot more with less, and to be fair, we're under pressure to reduce resourcing by clubs. We're under pressure to reduce resourcing by our own supervision as well. So yeah,
For those officers who were on duty at Stoke Blues, that was a cancelled rest day for Staffordshire Police. So all those officers again, and there's a myth about police overtime as well. Those officers at Stoke on Saturday, a cancelled rest day is a cancelled rest day. You don't get paid for it. So they've lost their day off to police the Stoke Birmingham game. Blues Villa Blues, that's a cancelled rest day for West Midlands Police officers to ensure we get the number of officers out.
So that's not. They don't even get paid normal wage.
No, you get paid your normal salary that
pay,
way.
but they get to dictate the day you have off then.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And how many rest days would you be expected to work a year?
It's getting more and more. This now isn't it?
So contractually, there's no sort of everyone would do 4.
No.
there's
Okay,
no-
all right,
no.
okay.
But
right.
for some of the smaller forces, a cancelled rest day happen very frequently, not just
Really?
for football, for other
Yeah.
events as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And as I say, there is a
The
pressure.
Women's
you know,
Institute cake making.
we're
Cloud.
constantly asked to reduce the resource we put on football, and we have reduced the numbers we put on football quite
Great stuff.
significantly.
Right, Stephen Cow 2-0 Blues, Pennywood 3-0 Blues, and Matthew Brown 3-0 Blues. Was going for 2-0, 1-0. Hello lads from Sky Daz from Darren Porter. Hello to you.
Sky Jazz.
Sky Daz.
Sky Jazz.
Probably something to do with the skydiving.
No,
No?
he's not. No.
Chris,
You know
knows who
Sky
he
Daz?
is.
I know he is.
He'll fill us in afterwards. Ask Blade what he thinks about the networking Accessi Blues are doing with other clubs and agencies, from Steve.
Yeah, we work really close. I mean, I know Steve as well, and we've invited Assessi Blues down to Villa Park.
Nice lad, Stephen. He's
Yeah,
all right,
to
good lad.
discuss disabled facilities for fans at the Villa Blues game. We're now taking part in a regional disabled supporters association, and for me it's close to my heart. I've got a disabled son, and who was never able to access the match day experience.
Yeah.
And there was nothing there for him.
There's so much more now, isn't there?
There
Yeah.
is, there really is.
And it's
But
all down
it's
to
only
these. It's all down
thanks
to
to
these
people
kind of
like
people and
the
these
kids.
kind of
Yeah,
groups.
yeah, yeah.
And again, social media is a massive
it
part
out
of
there,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Sam Marsh, no, Steve. What do I know? I'm going to get that one. Benji Smith 2-2. Bill Sweeney 2-0 to the Blues. Police Van Persie, you get that one?
Very good.
Okay. That's from Robert Doyle. Well done, Robert. Love the firearms officers on the Cov Road. All police should be armed, from Gaz. It's an interesting
Brett
question.
Stanley says, "Is it okay if I tell Gary Rowett to foxtrot Oscar?"
I think he was told that on Saturday.
Brilliant. Oh, absolutely superb. Richard Haylor, all the way from Florida, 2-0 Blues. Lindsay Phillips, 3-0. Haven't pork pie, you might get up to 4. Andrew Whitehouse, 3-1 Blues. We've turned a corner. Lee Camp Patrick from Buzz Rock. West Midlands Police, have you ever blamed Lee Camp for doing anything? That was a comment that I saw earlier.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
This time. 4-0 to Blues. It's not... Go on.
Daniel Dean Jones, will West Midlands Police suggest to BCFC not to have clappers versus the Villa again this season?
I'm not answering that one.
Robert Doyle,
let's
road
say-
closure is a great idea. It has McDonough. Why do West Midlands Police stop using horses? No, that's a good one.
We got rid of horses all
1996.
over 20
Yeah.
years ago now.
I used to love seeing them
Yeah.
up the Cov Road.
Some forces, there's very few forces who've actually still got horses now, to be perfectly honest. I'll be honest, I don't know why West Midlands Police got rid of them. They will never come back to West Midlands
last
Police,
one,
rest
the last-
assured.
There was the Newcastle up at Newcastle where the guy
they used to,
punched the horse, didn't
Yeah,
they?
there are very few forces with police horses.
Yeah.
Andy Smith, spy and cop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
Very
good.
topical.
Very good.
Benji Smith, Karen Police Car Knee. Like that one, I quite like that. Jason Truncheon from Pete Taylor. They're mad, this lot, honestly. Love it. We go through this for some unknown reason every Monday night. Took my boys to the Villa game. It stands credit where credit is due. The police were friendly, engaging, very polite and professional. My boys loved it, and that made them very, very safe. Well done, guys from Wayne Merricks. So you see, you don't get all the bad press all the time. There are people out there who do appreciate what you do.
Do you know what?
Great, thank you.
It's been eye-opening for me as well, because however long I've been going to football, stupid amount of time is. Automatic assumption is,
we control everything.
You're the nasty buggers who make
But that's a perception that we
give us
given,
2,000 away at Villa, and you do this
that's
and
a
you do
perception
that.
that's not only been given, but that's a perception that's grown through social media. And you guys could probably do an awful lot more now to dispel all of those, all of those wrong theories.
I think it's always been us and them. And it's always felt like that, hasn't it? Yeah.
The one thing I would say,
Tilton Talk Show.
Uniform. That's it.
Yeah. And I still think it's prevalent, it's in circumstances as well. I saw somebody mention South Yorkshire Police. I think away football supporters as well still are treated by some police forces. My experiences of going to Sheffield and Leeds.
Brilliant.
But I can only speak from my perspective of going to away games. Both Sheffield grounds, Leeds. It's not a nice environment for away supporters to go. Do you think that there's still work to be done for police forces?
Of course there is.
There's loads of work to be done, but that's our role. We're there to try and convince them to treat people as individuals, not as a group.
Yeah.
We're there to point out the ones that are going to cause them trouble. We're just a small minority, and the rest, why interfere with their day?
Yeah.
They ain't going to cause you a problem. You might want to concentrate on this little group, and that's what we do. And that's why it's important that we go to every away game.
Yeah.
Marvellous. Steve Portman, 6-1 to the Blues. 8,500 went to Bruges, and there was a handful of arrests for drunkenness.
Sounds like trouble to me.
Karski and much. Okay, that one. No. Sorry, Nick. Sorry, Nick. You're not having that one. Bobby Hatton. There we go. That's a good one. Ian Roger, bravo, son.
Kenny Burns side.
Ian Rogerson.
Okay. Gareth Bale.
Laurel and Hardy. Ricky Otto. I don't know where that was.
Gareth on bail.
Gareth on bail.
How good is the police drone, and does it help with policing? Robert Doyle.
The drone is excellent.
Excellent. Brilliant.
Somebody mentioned about they were
so versatile.
Jermaine the tag pennant.
I think with the drone, in years ago, with a police helicopter, that would be up above here, and it's which costs thousands and thousands of pounds.
Yeah. And people automatically think that when it's up there, something's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas a drone is less intrusive, isn't it? It's up, and it's just keeping a watch. And
I've even I park in the same place every week, right? Drove down there this one day. There's a burnt out van. There was this, there was that, and the police helicopter up, and the sirens going everywhere. And I got me, right. Welcome to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, and boom. Yeah. Right? And that was the perception that you got immediately.
Yeah.
And it's probably quite wrong.
Yeah. And I think
that burnt out van was there for a reason. Somebody had obviously done it.
But the
Jeff Police Horsefield, Mikhail Force L. Some clever guys out there.
Quite intelligent.
Debatable. But the cost difference between the drone and the helicopter,
huge.
Absolutely.
I couldn't give you the exact amount, but it is, a drone costs thousands to buy. And I'm talking under sort of.
That's about 5,000.
Yeah. That probably costs a helicopter. Probably 1 minute is £5,000. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it really is.
Paul Hipkiss nicked Spall. Oh,
no, that's. I thought we were doing things to do with football and police.
Nicked.
Yeah. Nick Spall.
Nicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't put you in category of footballers.
I've scored a goal in front of the Tilton, I'll have you know.
To do with police.
Not that I've ever not mentioned that before.
No.
Oh dear. Well, we're almost out of time. It's 1:02. KMBP shed open from 4:30 to 5:30 tomorrow. Keep right on. That's from Craig Coates. Well done. The horses they got rid of ended up in
Findus.
No, don't go there. Please.
Don't end on that note, please. Come on, give us another comment. For goodness sake.
Lee clamped. I like that one.
Let's go back.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's about 100 comments to go to. I can't say that one, Kyle Colclough, but it is quite funny. I definitely can't say the one from Dennis. Gareth Bale, that was quite a good one. Yeah. Kenny Burnside. I've got 103 comments to go through in a minute. I can't do them all.
I tell you what, though, we could have gone on
forever.
For hours tonight.
Yeah.
Can I just say thank you for having us as well?
Absolutely, no, it's been a pleasure. It's been something
Absolutely.
I genuinely spoke about many times, and how good would it be to find out what happens? You've given us some insight tonight as to what you don't actually control, and I think that was a massive part of tonight.
We'll happily come on again.
Come after the break.
Yeah, we will. We've got no issue at all. And it's like if any fans groups out there want us to attend their forum, their meeting, wherever
Listen to this, people.
We're more than happy to attend. Food goes down well, but more than happy to attend any fans forums you've got, whether that be at a club, whether that be at a pub, or at your own social club. That goes from me and Blade, no issues whatsoever.
Brett Stanley, great show, lads. Very informative. Thanks. Keep right on, Graham Haynes. Lots of. I think they're claps.
Where can we find you on Twitter? Give your Twitter handle so people can get.
Go on, give yours. Yours more important than mine.
We are at WMP BCFC
and WMP Villa FC.
Okay, there you have it. And obviously you combine forces for the two. You don't pick one out against the other. You're a Wolves fan, you're a Brunos. What more could we have wanted in here tonight? Really, apart from Gary Monk.
Sorry. Slide down the table concerning you after Saturday's defeat.
Adam Weeks, just before we go, some of the ref decisions at St Andrews have been criminal. Can we have a few more refs, please? The penalty spotters.
That's quite. I like that one.
We have a winner then, Brett Stanley with penalty spotters. Well done, Brett Stanley. You've got the comment of the night. Don't forget there will be after the game tomorrow a 3-word review, and there will also be.
I'll be putting my Facebook Live fast pay up as well.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah,
obviously
I
the
can't wait
most
for that one.
exciting thing that's ever happened on the
Facebook. There's just hundreds of like buttons being pressed. Okay, they're just flying up the screen. You just can't imagine just how many people we've had on and how many comments we've had on tonight. It's been absolutely incredible. Listen, guys, thanks ever so much. It's Reading tomorrow. Behave yourselves as always, and keep right on to the end of the road. Now 3 points tomorrow. Could we just?
Oh yeah.
Could we just go above them tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
What a weekend this will be coming up. I think the first thing I'll do is go over and get my Sheffield ticket.
My season ticket in my pocket.
Colin and Blade, thanks ever so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
you guys. Yeah, brilliant.
It really has been an eye-opener as well to get some kind of understanding. And like I said, you're quite happy to come in after the Blues Villa and give us a review on that. And I'm sure these people out there will give us a review on their experience as well on the day. You can do whatever you want with all that information to make everybody else's experience so much better. And it's not all down to policing, don't get me wrong. The club could make improvements, and some of the supporters could damn well make some as well. Behave, bloody behave, a lot of you, I'm telling you. Good night, keep right on. Thank you, Mrs. Brown. Thank you, Mr. Fun, and thank you, Colin and Blade. This has been the Tilton Talk Show, Monday nights. It's what it's all for. We'll see you back here next week.